Different groups have given kudos to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, for listening to the voices of Nigerians in extending the old Naira notes deadline from 31st of January to 10th of February 2023. Nigerians, irrespective of their religions, political affiliations, and tribe, vehemently resisted the previous 31st of January deadline. Meanwhile, the Center for Human and Social Economic Rights, CHSR, and Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, CDHR, Lagos State branch planned to protest against the decision of the President and the CBN governor before it was given a second thought. Discussing with me in the studio is the President of the Socio-Economic Rights. I'm talking about the Human Social Economic Rights, Comrade Alex Omotenshi. Of course, it's political matters, and I am Michael Adekunle. I'll be right back. You're welcome back to the program. Like I said earlier on, Alex Omotenshi is right here with me in the studio. Okay. Alex, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, welcome.
All right. Now, you planned a precision march, to protest against the policy of the federal government. Will I say the policy between the CBN governor, Emefiele, and the president himself, Muhammadu Buhari. Now, after you made that decision to go out there to protest against the development, at the end of the day, the federal government bowed to pressure. Now, what can you say about it? And don't you think the precision march should go beyond just the Naira redesign?
Thank you very much. It is a very straightforward thing. Let me start from the last question, that the procession should not be only on the Naira redesign. The fact remains that the redesigning of the Naira affected virtually every Nigerian, except we want to continue to deceive ourselves. And the deadline is fast approaching. The new note is not in full circulation. Even the bank, the financial institutions are not in possession of the newly redesigned Naira notes. So we felt we need to speak out, because truly in an ideal society, if you want to change a Naira note, the old and the new currency will run simultaneously, pending the time you phase out the old Naira note. You don't even need to fix time deadline. All you need to do as a financial institution is to receive in old new notes and disburse new Naira notes. So you ensure that the new note is no longer coming out from the banks. But reverse is the answer here. They gave a deadline, and up until 48 hours to the deadline date, there's no clear indication that the new notes will be in circulation. And why we shared the protest was that the main agenda is to mandate the president and his ally, the CBN governor, to extend the deadline unconditionally. We are not even, it's not that we are happy with the 10 days, but we are only sure that once they are about to pressure, and the good thing about the struggle is that if you have a purpose of going to the street and the purpose has been met, you have to do the needful by waiting and giving them ultimatum. So they have set an ultimatum for themselves. 10 days is just about 10 days from now. Yeah. And then our sharing this protest is just that on 9th of February, if we did not see a clear signal that the money has been in full circulation, on 9th of February, we still hit the street. Because if we did not see new Naira notes on 9th, definitely that 10 is not realizable. I went to LTV interview yesterday. I live in Ogun State. Okay. From Sango to Agege, there's no any ATM that is disbursing money. So I wish sure, and even people who are in banking hall
Even to this morning.
still complain that
Yeah.
they are not getting the money,
Yeah.
and bank is not even paying.
Yeah.
So it shows that they are up to something. And then if a policy is going to affect the ordinary poor, and that's what we have been saying, that before you can make a law or a policy, you have to weigh the advantage and the disadvantages
Does it mean the
and the
CBN
implication on the people.
people?
So
Okay.
if the disadvantage is going to be more than the advantage, it is better if the policy or the law does not see the light of the day.
Does it mean the CBN wasn't well prepared for this? What?
I won't say they were not well prepared, because 3 months is enough. But the main issue we observed there is that do you realize that banks don't give customer new notes? They give you used notes, and you can only bought a new note either at the park and garage, or you go to a party.
Even the POS users.
What I'm trying to drive at,
Okay,
a
okay.
mint note. I mean mint.
Okay.
You can only get it. You can't get it from the bank. You can only get it. You have to buy it at party or at garages, where those who are who conspire with bank do I call them official or staffs, to purchase new mint money for purpose of business. And I believe that is exactly what happened. Right now, even this money that we say is not in circulation has been spent in party. So how did they get this particular money? If there was no any conspiracy between the bankers?
Well, the masses are suffering.
Yes.
You know?
Well, everybody is entitled to.
Or is the fault from the bank?
Everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. Let me digress a bit. Why we made a public announcement on Friday that we're going to stage a protest on Monday, we started getting calls from people who perceive that every protest organized in Nigeria have to be sponsored by a politician or thereabout. And then people now asking that, are we fighting for the masses or we are fighting for the politician? That this policy is to regain some politicians who owed money. And our answer is that, our response to them was that, if it's against the politician, we will disagree with you, because even the so-called the big politician have the they have the power, or what do I call it? They are in position to call any bank manager to bring funds to the house without visiting the banks. But the average petty trader who does not operate a bank account, they are the most vulnerable people that were affected in this policy. It's only that people are not seeing it from that angle. And from between Wednesday and Friday, Wednesday 25 and Friday 27th, people in my area have started rejecting old notes, including a woman that refilled gas for us. So, and these are the people who don't even patronize bank. So how are they going to change their money? Because you have to deposit in bank. Are you saying the policy is that if I'm not operating any bank account, I can carry my cash, walk into any bank to do it like a breed change? So if they are seeing it from that angle, well, it is their opinion. But one thing we are very sure of, that we don't just protest. We are not a political activist that a card-carrying member of any political party that can only go to the streets only when they want to suit their paymasters. Our own based on ideology and whatever we believe in, and we know, we are sure this is going to affect the ordinary Nigerians. We don't care whatever you say.
Okay, let's quickly dissect the importance of this policy and the danger it portends in the society. Now, Kingsley Moghalu, 2 days ago, stated reasons why this shouldn't be. Of course, the Minister of Finance, Zainab, also, that was last year before the president said there was no going back.
She was not aware.
Yeah, just she wasn't aware. Now, would you say this has no effect in the economy, or what?
Well, every regime will always want to leave their name in the footprint of the time. I want to believe that the Buhari regime want to leave the office with something Nigeria will be looking at. It was Buhari regime that did this. So that is in my own belief.
Okay, okay.
They have the right to say they want to redesign Naira. But the truth of the matter is that in every situation, there's always a solution. If, according to them, that the policy was introduced because of some people who hoard money, so they are within themselves, they refuse to take it to the bank, like the CBN governor have said on the day he was bowing to the people's pressure, that they were looking for 2.70
trillion.
It was something trillion. They have recovered about 1.6, remain 1.9. They are looking for 900 billion. So invariably, it may be a good agenda, a good idea, in order to curb corruption.
Okay.
But some of us don't believe that is the only way to curb corruption. To redesign money is another way of siphoning our money, because it costs them billions of naira to redesign this money.
Yeah.
And don't forget, it is in this same country that we have an academic staff union of universities going on strike for over 3-4 months for the about 90 billion naira, what have you. And you want to go and redesign naira with 82 point something billion. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I think what they need to do, if they really mean to fight corruption, one, let's phase out all our the 3 highest denomination. Let the Nigeria highest denomination remain 100 naira. And you say you want to operate a cashless policy, and you are still introducing 1,000 naira notes. So if they want to, and my own belief was that I expected the CBN to have printed more of 100 naira notes and 50 naira. Since we have 8 denominations, and you are designing 3, the remaining 5 supposed to be in circulation. So this brouhaha will have not come up at all. So,
like redesigning all the denominations.
Not redesigning. They are not redesigning all the denomination. They are only redesigning only 3. The remaining 5 is not even in circulation. If they have printed more 100 nairas, 50 nairas, 20 naira, then you get to the bank, you want to withdraw money, they pay you with 10 naira. You'll be forced to operate a cashless policy, because it will be difficult for you to carry 1 million naira of 10 naira notes.
Among the reasons the CBN governor stated that Emefiele, he said it will go a long way, curbing the rate at which these kidnappers operate. Also, when you look at it, there's speculations out there that it's a way of curbing vote buying during this year's election. Do you see it that way?
Well, me, as far as I'm concerned,
looking at what Stephen Tinubu
I
said,
still go back to, let me repeat myself. If it is to curb vote buying, those who want to buy votes, and they need money to buy votes, they have the power to call any bank manager to bring the money they needed to their house. And don't be surprised. They claim they have printed new money. Don't be surprised that most of these so-called politicians that they claim they want to stop from buying votes must have been in possession of all these new notes that is not in circulation. So it's not a genuine excuse. It's not a genuine excuse.
Now, looking at it, the president is kind of, let's say, within a space of 4 months or so, he'll be leaving the office. And quite all right, he has done wonderfully well. But what would you say will be the legacy the president will be leaving behind?
Well, to me, I don't believe the president have done so well. The only legacy President Buhari will leave for Nigerians. Nigerians will continue to remember that he's a tyrannic leader, and he's a dictatorial leader, and he's a leader, a president that does not listen to what the people was saying.
But he just bowed to pressure.
He didn't bow to pressure.
Okay.
There's what Yoruba call the white man. You call it eye service. What he did is eye service, and it has become so much. These protests we shared will have been worse than NSAS, because the average petty trader will have been involved in that protest. Average pepper seller will have marched with us to barricade Lagos. And as I'm telling you, and one thing I'm very sure, as we're staging it in Lagos, it will be staging in Abeokuta, it will be staging in Warri, it will be staging in Benin, it will be staging in Akure. So it will have been worst. I want to believe, let me think this way, that maybe an instinct must have told the president, look, let us do this. If not, it will have been the worst thing that will have happened to his regime. Because if they go ahead and end that Naira note today, you know what keep the momentum going? The transporter have not started rejecting the money. Had it been the transporter have started rejecting the old notes, you will have seen the worst.
In your area or some other parts of the country, because it happened at this Lagos Abeokuta Expressway, we saw a situation where some transporters were rejecting money.
No. I have not seen that.
I
have not seen that, but what I know is that if the transport sector hold a very strong position in the society, only that they don't value what they have. When they started rejecting the money, alarm will tear, because nobody will be able to move. And people were talking about fuel scarcity. And I said that if this Buhari regime is anything to remember after, some of us said it in 2015, because I witnessed Buhari regime between 83 and 85. Okay. It was a very tough government, a government that turned deaf ear to whatever anybody is saying. And I told some of our colleagues who left activism and joined politics, believe Buhari is an anti-corruptionist, and I told them, you are deceiving yourself. And it's good. The first protest we had when Buhari came in, when he increased the fuel pump price to 145 naira in 2016. We were opposed by some comrades, let me call them former comrades, who are now politicians, who write script for the politicians. We have two different protests. While we are protesting against the government policy on increment, some were protesting in support of government. That is the best way of idea to let them remove subsidy. These are the government who against subsidy removal in 2012. So this government will remain, if it's not going to be the worst. Another thing is that, Nigerian system of government is that we were being forced to always use the present government to praise the past government. And that's why some of us are supporting the idea of restructuring. That it is not about individual, it's not about it's about the system itself. Until we stop making the elected position attractive. Until we stop making the elected position attractive in this country, before we get things done right.
Now, I was asking a question concerning seeing beyond just the protest against the policy of the deadline. I mean the deadline, that 31st of January deadline. Now, what are you doing concerning the lingering fuel crisis in Nigeria? Of course, this started last year, and we expected this to have stopped, and it's still, lingering.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse.
Okay, we are from the civil society. We don't have the power to call the workers off their offices. The only union that have the power to do that is the NLC and TUC. And then, as you can see, our labor movement have, do I call it, has changed. Unlike what we have during Bhaskar Bafiawu, Oshomole and Co. What we have now is a rubber stamp labor movement that can raise Nigerians' hope today, this morning, till 11 p.m. and around 12 a.m. they will change their goalpost. The only way that what makes protest effective is when there is strike. It is when there is strike that protest is more effective, when you have to do it full. And then the NUPENG, the Pengassin, the NUI, that is the electricity, National Union of Electricity Employees and all of that, when all of them gave order to their staffs or members to shut down work, then the government will realize that these people are not taking it easily with him. But being the civil society, the only thing we can do is to make our noise. And even some people don't even believe. I tell them, but what we can only say on this fuel issue is that if the labor movement have not endorsed, because about 2 weeks ago, I saw the NLC Lagos, and that was the reason why we did not involve them in this, because some of us don't even believe in them again. I have made a vow in 2017 that I will never involve in any NLC. So LASCO, because we have NLC and Labour and Civil Society, we call it Labour and Civil Society Coalition, LASCO, that will never involve again, because this is the second time NLC will call it a strike. We'll prepare 24 hours, no, even 3 hours to the commencement of the mass movement. NLC will call it off. The last one that took place was when Buhari moved from agitating for fuel, and then the issue of ASU and thereabouts, and then they addressed one out of the two. The NLC said, since they have addressed one, we have to forget the two.
But have you been able to reach the NLC?
We don't even need to reach the NLC, because the NLC Lagos, that's supposed to be our immediate constituency, have adopted a candidate in this election.
Who is the candidate?
They have adopted Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu for 2023 general election. So they are now they are no longer apolitical. They are now partisan. You know, so what message will we be passing? So it is very clear. Let Nigerians wake up from their slumbers.
How will Nigerians wake up from their slumbers? Because we have
Nigerians,
people on board.
Let me tell you.
You need to speak up on this issue. This is getting.
Now I'm telling you to wake up from your slumber. Don't wait till I fight for you. Get ready to fight for yourself. Later, Awolowo said it before he died.
But you guys are human rights activists.
I am also a human being.
But you speak on behalf of the people.
And I don't carry gun.
But you speak on behalf of the people.
On several occasions, we have been tear gas because we speak. Do you realize that at times we'll be on the street, we will always get regretted, because even the people you are fighting for, driving, they will claim you are disturbing them, you are disturbing their peace. You know, when we are protesting, we always want to make sure we send a signal. We ensure that every vehicle must be behind us.
Okay.
You have to follow so that the protest will be effective. You will be surprised that some of those who are passing by will be saying, go and look for a walk. You are disturbing us. We are okay with what is happening. And another thing is this. If you tell Nigerians, this thing is, and they say, but we are used to it. And no. And from what I'm telling you on this fuel, I say Nigerians should wake up from their slumbers. You can reject that fuel price. Let everybody remain indoor. Don't go and buy. It's the simplest way of protest without hitting the street. You abstain from going to filling station to buy fuel at exorbitant rate. You understand? So if you stay at home, I've not bought fuel since they have increased until government announce particular fare. And I stylishly I heard they have announced 185, in which we have only one filling station, Mobi, selling at that rate.
Even NNPC, there's I think we have some NNPC stations selling at that rate.
So me, I'm assured of Mobi filling station at Adura, what do they call it?
There's one at Fagba.
So, and at Abule Egba, they sell at 185. And the official rate supposed to be 165 naira. The government have not announced to the public that it is 185. So Nigerians can reject it.
Okay.
You don't buy fuel. Let the marketer who want to hoard fuel, who want to sell at 1 million naira, have his fuel. I'm very sure under 2-3 weeks, they will come back to their senses. But just that Nigerians are used to, you know, what fella call it, suffering and smiling. So they don't even bother. Whatever comes, well, what we want to do.
We enjoy it.
So
thank you so much, Mr. Alex, for joining us on today's program. We really appreciate you. And on this note, we'll say goodbye to you on today's edition of this program. Join us next time on the same platform. Michael Adekunle remains my name.